to my second EA Shell Challenge speed build, and wow, this is a big one. In case you missed my first EA Shell Challenge video, it is exactly as it sounds. In this video, I will renovate an EA build using Shell Challenge rules. I can't touch the walls. I can delete internal walls, as you have seen just a moment ago, but the external walls must remain the same. If you enjoy speed builds and challenges like this one, please like and subscribe, as I have plenty more coming. As you have already seen in the intro today, we are renovating the Rock Ridge Canyon in Glimmerbrook that came with the Realm of Magic pack, also known as the Charms home. The Charm family are a pre-made Sims that came with Realm of Magic, and the family consists of 4 people: Menerva Charm, Daryl Charm, Emma Charm, and Amelia Ernest. They are spellcasters residing in Glimmerbrook, which was a world introduced in The Sims 4 Realm of Magic. And you can see here that I have finished the roofing now in preparation for how I'm going to lay this house out. Now, I based my layout of this house and the way that I was going to design it around the Sims personalities. And one of the Sims in this household is Daryl, and Daryl is a snob. Because he is a snob and because the family is an old spellcasting family, I decided to give them a very grand home. The description that came with the Charm family reads: the Charm family has produced generations of distinguished spellcasters. As Menerva often reminds her children, Gemma resents her family's high expectations, even though she secretly wants to make them proud. Daryl is an aspiring duelist who got engaged to Amelia, a newly ascended spellcaster who has a lot to live up to. Menerva, Daryl, and Gemma all have a strong bloodline inherited trait, but not Amelia, because she is marrying into the family. Amelia is engaged to Daryl. In the family tree, there is no father indicated, and Amelia also has no other known relatives. In true Sims 4 style, there is no mention of Menerva being widowed, divorced, separated, or whatever. For all we know, Daryl and Gemma may have been a magical, immaculate conception. But this is just Sims 4 lacking in lore. At least the whole family came with skills, and everyone in the family had relationships, which is better than we can say for some of the other pre-made Sims within The Sims 4. So you can see me here laying out the house, and it took me a while to figure out this layout. I changed the stairs location multiple times. So I decided to give quite the grand stair entrance, and behind the stairs I'm going to put a dining room behind that archway I've just placed in. And I did this for 2 reasons. One, this build is massive, so I thought if I give it a really grand 2-story kind of entrance, that takes away space that I have to fill with furniture and more rooms. Amelia Ernest, who is one of the Sims in this household, she is a mixologist, so I put a bar in for her. And that way she's able to get up her mixology skill. She came into the game with a mixology skill already. She was level 4 in mixology, and she is a head mixologist as her career. So you can see me here now choosing the doors for this home. Because it has the double grand entrance, and because I've got different wall heights, I was able to choose a tall door on a shorter wall height. I think I actually maybe extended the wall height at this point as well. I'm not 100% sure, I can't quite remember. I did this build quite a while ago, back before we had the window update. So the windows don't have any overlapping and they're spaced out a little bit further than I would have liked. So here I've made like a grand bedroom, and then I had a secondary bedroom. And I also have like a butler's section of the home to give the impression that it was a bit more of a grand home. So, sorry that I'm building in the dark quite a lot. I just felt, I forgot really to change it. I used the secret door here, and then I've disguised it by pushing the bookcase into the wall further, which gives like a wooden backing in the kitchen as well, which I actually quite liked, and I thought it was quite a cool effect. If you don't like it, you can always just move them forward if you wanted to download the build from the gallery. If you do want to get this build from the gallery, it will be up on the gallery under the username Dezline. I haven't had a chance to change my username yet because I had issues with it emailing me. So I need to contact EA to sort that out. Here I am adding some lights in when I realised this is a bit dark. Let's put some lighting in this place. And I'm giving it quite a grand kitchen. The kitchen is tucked away to an extent, like it's behind a secret door. You have to go through a hallway to get into it, because my theory behind this is when this house would have been designed, the kitchen wasn't where the normal household people would go. It would be for the staff. So I designed it that way, that you would have to go via the bar to get to the kitchen or via the secret entrance to get to the kitchen. I'm here trying to find something to go behind the bar because I needed something that was kind of fitting. I added in, I've skipped a little bit here, I took some chunks out because I was being indecisive, but you would have seen I added in the board from Parenthood. I'm now using the rooms feature to just grab a few items just to mark out rooms to help myself understand what my planning was and what my thought process is. These items probably won't stay, but they're just like a starting point. And it gives me like a good inspiration of where I'm going to go with this. It also allowed me to come up with what I wanted. You may have just seen a second ago where suddenly had thousands of simoleons appearing. I have a mod in my game which allows me to just click the dollars and it just adds more. It saves me typing in cheats. And yeah, so here I'm making a library because being an older home, I thought it would be quite fitting. And I love the way that the current fireplace looks, but it doesn't stay. It goes in like just a moment because it wasn't functional. I couldn't get them to light a fire there. I used a doorway to push it into the wall, but it just didn't work. So I cut that out of the video and just put a different fireplace in. And I do go place items back on top of the fireplace. Here, I know that there's quite a bit of controversy about putting a TV above a fireplace. I live in Australia. Where I live in Western Australia, we don't really have fireplaces. It's not very commonly seen because it's too hot. Even in our winter, it's not very common to have a fireplace, so I don't really understand the whole don't put your TV there stuff. I'm making this quite a glamorous lounge room. I put a gaming console in because Amelia has the gaming skill. She came with a level 3 video gaming skill. So I thought I'd better put a gaming console in just for her to show where she got that skill from if she's living in this house. I never realised there was a swatch of that orange tree that was just oranges. I changed it out anyway for this build because it doesn't fit, but I actually really like that and I use it in quite a few builds in the future. So I decided to close the room off because I know that in older homes, if you had a fireplace, you would actually close rooms off so you're able to keep the warmth in. I didn't put a door on it though, I did only put an archway because I imagine they would have, in modern times, just removed the door to make it easier flowing in and out. There's also a ballroom that you may see, there's a dance floor there and the piano. I thought I'd put that in based on the very beautiful designed homes that are older style, they often had ballrooms. Yeah, so here I'm now placing items to make a fake like stables. Because this is an older home, they're an older family, I thought it'd be cool to place like a stable to show that once upon a time they would have had horses and things like that. Obviously we can't have that in The Sims 4 at the moment. Hopefully we will eventually get a pack where we can get some horses because I do miss them from The Sims 3. I was using a lot of debug items there to give like the hay and things like that, and I used the seaweed item from Cats and Dogs. The roofing took me a long while to get right, so I did cut almost all of that out of this speed build because that took me literally hours to get. So I've left this a little bit in here where I'm kind of adjusting it to try and get it so that the eaves all line up, which was far trickier than you would think. But once I got it all lined up, I was pretty happy with it. And then I didn't really adjust it again, I don't think. So you can see now that we are in Gemma's bedroom. Now, Gemma is a teen. She is a goofball art lover, and she has a strong bloodline trait, and she's a quick learner. Her aspiration is spellcast and sorcery, so she wants to learn everything about how to cast spells and stuff. I used a lot of pinks and pretty colours in here to give the girly girl kind of feel, but also the the stereotypical teenage girl feel. Because she's an art lover, I included a lot of art. She also has a level 3 painting skill, a level 2 comedy skill, level 3 charisma skill, and a level 2 logic skill, and a level 5 mischief skill. So she actually has quite a lot of skills. She came with one relationship outside of her household with El Faber. She's just an acquaintance though, so she doesn't know any teens. But I think this room turned out quite cute. It didn't actually take me as long as some of the other rooms to figure out because I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I was making it as like the dream artist's room, like you get to paint in your room with a beautiful window view and a canopy kind of bed, and I thought that was really adorable. Here I'm creating a spellcaster's room for potion making because Amelia has the purveyor of potions aspiration, which makes sense. She's a mixologist, so she likes mixing stuff, so no surprise she likes mixing potions as well. This room I go away from and back to and away through and back through as I go throughout the build because I had to get my head around exactly what I wanted in it. I didn't want to leave a big blank hallway, so I thought I'd put some seating in the hallway to give you just a nice little quiet nook areas, and if you were to have a grand event here, there'd be places for people to go sit. I also have seasons, so I included umbrellas so that if you have seasons as well, this build would already be ready for them to have that. I wanted to create a nice little like sit down location at the front of the house, somewhere where they could chill when they got in, and I don't like that there's like a gap behind that couch. So I often will use this item from the Get Famous pack and I will put it in behind there to fill that space. I've also sized down some chairs here. They're not functional where they are. The lounge is still functional, but like that gives the appearance of having cushions. So here I am just putting some lights upstairs to light the place up. We're in the ballroom now, and I thought I'd put like an old music player in there, and just to give that feel of this is the kind of vinyl records and stuff you would have there. I just done a colour scheme change to use the Realm of Magic items more because I realised I hadn't really used them very much, and I'm trying to use as much of that pack as I possibly can. So we have a dining room here that I am laying out, and I was trying to figure out how I wanted to make this house's colour scheme look. I kept umming and ahhing between having the brown colour tones or going for a different colour tone, but then I thought the browns were quite a nice effect. Here I am using that item from Get Famous again. What I really like about this item is if you size it down, things don't hover because the Sims don't put anything on it. It's decorative only. Yeah, so I love the way that those lights sit in the spandrel there. So I like to play test as I build, so you will see at times when the Sims will move where they are as I'm play testing sections. So I'm now back in the potions room, figuring out how I'm going to continue laying that out. And I wanted it to be quite airy in there and quite bright. I didn't want it to be dingy. I then found these new wall shelves from, I think it's Eco Lifestyle they came from. And I thought these were just so cute, and I love the way that I can use the red shelf to just like fill them up. So I changed over to a more magical looking table, and I'm using Alt Place to place items where I want them to sit on the table. I didn't want them actually sitting at this table, so I put a bar stool there instead. So it's not actually a functional table, it's just decorative. If you want to make it functional, you can always swap the bar stool out for an actual proper chair. That's just how I wanted to do it. Trying to decorate this room as much as I could with as many spellcaster kind of items as possible. and going through all the swatches, trying to get the swatches that looked good together. This picture ends up being moved. I move it quite a few times. So I realized you can't put the wand cases on the shelf. So I used the red shelf to place them. And you can see here now I've filled up a lot of the shelves. I've used a lot of debug items in this as well. So there was a lot of scrolling through debug to get this right. But I was pretty happy with how it turned out. I use alt placing a lot when I build. That way I can put items exactly where I want them, especially items that aren't going to get used. I love that this spoon is in debug. So you're able to the spoon that they stir the cauldron with, you're able to get that and put that into your build. So that's what I've done there. I know that the way the curtains are right now, they would end up being cut off by the ceiling, but I actually removed the ceiling. And I used some items from, I think that was Vampires and from Strangerville to put the spills and stuff on the floor. So I already put some paintings all over the walls. I didn't record me doing that. And you see me moving that painting again, and I've moved it like 4 times already at this point. I do cut a lot out of my speed builds because this footage was hours and hours for me figuring this one out. This was a very hard house for me to work out how to do and how to get it the way that I really wanted to look and to fit those sims. I'm sorry if you don't like that I play with the grid on. It helps me be able to know how the sims can move around. Because if I don't have the grid on, I can't visualize how sims can move around the items. And then it just means that I have to play test as often. So I've already done this bathroom off a video. I would cut that part out because I don't know about you, but I find bathrooms boring to watch people decorate. And I'm just showing you how I add in some more clutter-like items using the red shelf. By doing it this way, I'm able to fill up the shelf space even though there's no shelf there. And put things on the back of toilets and things like that, even though normally you wouldn't be able to. Because there is no mention of a father figure, I decided to put an urn in to represent that he had died already, because I just thought it would be nicer than him not having ever existed. And I kind of made up a little bit of lore around who he possibly would have been. So I did some alt placing there to get that right. That way they were sitting where I wanted to because the slots are in ridiculous places. All right, this room, how I'm currently designing it, it's the master bedroom, and I was originally designing it for Menerva, as you can see with her plum bob spinning around just there. But I end up changing my mind and making it into Amelia and Daryl's room because Menerva is now single, and I think that she would let her son have the master room because he's going to get married soon. I did a lot of custom-made bathroom spaces here where I used items to make it so the bathroom looked more built-in. I personally think it looks gorgeous. If you don't like it, you don't have to. And I moved items up, and I use these dressers to give it like this full-on shelved built-in effect. In Australia, it's not very common to have your toilet out in your bathroom. We quite common have toilet rooms. So little rooms our toilets are in, which I personally prefer. So you'll find in many of my builds, I'll end up making like a little room, putting the toilet in the little room, and that room will be in a bathroom or even just off a hallway where they sink in it. So you can see that I've done here as well. I wanted this room to have some beautiful ambience about it, so I placed candles and all sorts of things. There will be some slight changes to it. I don't think I changed the wallpaper, but some pictures that you may see shortly, I do take down and put different ones up as I rearrange things. So Daryl is a snob, a bookworm, he's hot-headed. He also has a saltmate aspiration, and I kept some of this in my mind as I was making his room, as I was making his bathroom. I wanted it to have that romantic feel about it, which is why I put the candles in. Menerva is the other sim that lives in this household, and Menerva is a bookworm, she's self-assured, and she's family-orientated. She also has the nerd brain aspiration, so she needs logic items. Here I am now changing the room to be more for Daryl, so you can see there instantly that I've changed some of the colour schemes, I've made it more grand, and I'm putting in some other items. So I like to mix all the packs together when I'm doing these homes. That way it's not like separate, all the worlds are intertwined. Daryl has the fitness skills. I put fitness items in the room, and Amelia has the violin skills. I put a violin in the room. I've also used a lot of very modern items in this room. I don't know if I cut this out. No, I don't. So I'm adding fish to the walls now because Daryl has the fishing skill. So I thought it'd be really cool for him to have added that. I theorise he went fishing with his dad and that's where he learned all that from. Obviously, that's my head canon and not real canon, but I thought it was pretty cool. And then I'm trying to add some items in that are very personalised to them. So you can see which side's Amelia's side of the bed, which side's Daryl's side of the bed, based on the pictures on the wall. So Amelia does have video gaming skills. I've given her a gamer chair and a really nice computer. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm working out aspects, so I put a tower near there. I've got a whole bunch of items in this room already because I dragged them across from when I was originally having Minerva's bedroom be the other bedroom. But when I changed my mind, I had to move everything across. Yes, I'm copying and pasting items from other locations to get the same kind of feel. And I've already grabbed a lot of the items that I originally had in the bathroom that I've now just moved across to make it so this bathroom looks that way. I'm still giving the double sink effect, and I use a table from, I think that's Spa Day stuff, to make it look like it's got a built-in section in the middle between the two sinks. Here I'm doing a bit of a trick where you delete the walls and then you can move things up and down to exactly where you want them to be. The annoying thing about this is if you don't quite get it in the right spot, you've got to do it again and again and again, because otherwise the wall cuts it off. This is how you can make more custom locations and heights for your mirrors, because you know how sometimes they're set ridiculously high. With the traits that Menerva has, she's got a lot of like genius-y kind of items because she has the nerd brain aspiration. She's a quick learner. I've put outside a astronomy tower for her so she can go out and look at the stars, and I've put some pictures of that around. And yeah, I made a section here on one side of the bed to represent where her husband's things were, and I decided just to put some military things in there to say that he was in the military, and that's just my own head canon, that's not actual canon. And I decided to put the picture of I've forgotten what his name is, but the little boy picture in to say that that was what he once looked like. Here I am trying to find the right flowers, and I just put flowers down to fill spots so that I could get what I wanted. Now, with the woodworking items, if you delete them and re-put them in and delete them and re-put them in, they will come up with different items each time. So that's what I was doing there. I was deleting the same item and then putting it back again. So I've given her a woodworking table. I discovered that you can size down bookshelves and they will still use them, they'll still work. This is where I start doing the gardens. Now, this took forever because I did a lot of terrain editing. I've edited that out of my video because you guys don't want to watch me just constantly playing with terrain to try and get it perfect. I've used an item here to join heights of terrain that otherwise couldn't be joined because there is actually a slight gap underneath there. And I also use a bench in this spot here. Now it's not accessible. The Sims can't sit there, but you can still put items there. So I wanted to give the impression that there was seating there, even though it can't actually be used. That section isn't functional, it's just pretty. We're gonna cut some of this out now. Yep, so I've cut out so you don't have to watch me putting down the same plant on repeat, but I want quite a grand garden. Now I'm using the tool mod here to shrink down the coffins to make it look like it's more of a tomb. And I decided that that was where their father is buried, and he is buried in their back garden, so that they're able to go visit his grave whenever. So it's kind of like their family plot or whatever. And then this section is more of like the section the help goes into, not the section that everyone goes to. So it's like a clothesline and a well and all those items that once upon a time were probably used a lot, whereas now they're not used as much. I used a trick here to get fountains in where you just rise up the train in that section, and once the train is flat you can now place a fountain there, because you can't put a fountain in when you have a raised foundation. So I just deleted that bit of foundation and raised the train up. It's quite a cool trick. I don't remember who I learned it from, but I did learn it from someone else's YouTube video. I just don't remember who. So I like to go all out with my gardens for homes like this. I imagine they would have once upon a time hired a gardener. Nowadays, it's probably them themselves having to do the gardening, because they're not as well off as they probably once were. And yeah, so I used a lot of romantic garden stuff, and I use lighting and all sorts to make this a really like beautiful place for you to just go chill and sit. I wanted to give the impression that their dad had only died recently, so I put flowers and stuff around the grave. The front of the home here, I didn't put a lot there. I decided to keep it quite simple because I've made the gardens quite extravagant. Here I decided I wanted to put like a carport kind of item in. Now obviously we don't have cars in the game, at least not cars that are real cars, we've got decorative ones. But I wanted to give the impression that once upon a time they probably had a carriage here, and I actually did attempt to make a carriage, but you can't put the roof the way I wanted to. It was awkward, and I was like, nah, so I just put a car there. This is when I realised towards the end that I completely forgot bins, so I had to go, I better go put bins in. I'm horrible for forgetting bins and mailboxes. It's my worst items. I always forget them. So there was a crazy amount of terrain manipulation to get this place the way that I wanted it to be. And I wanted to like give the impression that you'd once like park the carriage here and then walk the horse up through the gates to the stables. So I did a lot of train manipulation to try and get it so it was nice and smooth. I did a lot of train painting. If you ever do want to see my train manipulation and train painting, just let me know in the comments and I'll leave that in, or I'll do a video showing you how I do that. I do tend to do train painting all the way around the homes. I know it's an old trick, but I still do it. And if you want to see me put 100 items down to make things like this little pond here, I'm happy to show you how I do that as well. I just didn't think anyone really want to watch me placing hundreds and hundreds of rocks, so I cut most of it out and just show you the basics of how I do it. I use a lot of debug items. I now have the expanded debug, the better debug menu, which is a mod by Twisted Nexus, I think it's called. I'll put it in the description. And I absolutely love this mod, but I didn't have it at the time when I did this, so this took even longer because I had to keep going into debug to get these items. I also use the tool mod quite a lot to get items down to the heights that I want them to be. It enables me to put items into the ground so that things aren't floating above the ground. The tool mod is amazing for that. So So you can see here I'm kind of flattening things out so that the washing line will still be usable, because if it's too raised they won't be able to use it. I then placed some debug items from, I think this was Discover University, to give like some effect of like vines growing up the side of the house. I know this is bad for your brickwork, but I kind of like the way it looks. Yeah, so I cut out all the garden placing down the front. That is a tiered effect where I've just done a flat section, then a curved section, flat section, a curved section, to get it to where it's at. Yeah, so we're coming up towards the end of the video in a moment. I'm just placing the last few items now, just getting the last touches on, things like making sure there's some vines up the side of the house and ensuring that there's some overgrownness to the bits that aren't part of the main garden, where they probably haven't really cared about it as much because it's not really getting seen. And we're going to come up with screenshots. Here we go. So this is the front of the home, inside in the foyer, and from the other view of the foyer, the ballroom, the grand lounge area, the library, the kitchen. This is the bar and the dining room. I also included a butler's quarters that I cut the recording of. So that was the bedroom, the bathroom, and there's a laundry. So this is the landing upstairs. So we've already done all of downstairs now. This is the potions room, and from many different angles, I really love the way that room turned out. The bathroom. This is Gemma's bedroom with her easel and everything. The reading kind of area. Minerva's room from different angles. Minerva's bathroom. And then we have Daryl and Amelia's bedroom, which is a bit more glamorous than any other room in the house, to show the snob trait. We've got a sitting area, which I think I cut out of the video. And the outside the home at night as well as during the day. The kind of maintenance-y kind of area. I'm pretty proud of how this one turned out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And consider sharing this video with your friends. So yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone, bye!